Hi, I'm Victoria from Victoria's Body Shop. Today, we're with John Meunier. He's getting ready for the Masters in PC Nationals. And I'm telling you, this guy is doing a back workout that's gonna make you burn just watching it. John's gonna tell us how he kicked up the weights today. Hey John, how you doing?
Good, Victoria, how are you?
I am awesome. Your back workout today was crazy. Take us through it.
Well, today we're about 2 weeks out from starting my prep, so we're still hitting the weights heavy. Today we started with back and did a little bicep pump, but today I started with the pull-up machine, assisted pull-ups, just to get a good stretch, get a nice pump, bring some blood flow to the lats, get them stretched out. So I did a couple sets there, high rep, 15 to 20.
Okay.
And then we moved on to the lat pull down, where we started light, just again to bring the weight down, squeeze it, get that mind muscle connection.
Yes.
And then increase the weights from there. Again, it's more my staple to start with the lat pull down. I can go heavier that way, and it just brings a lot of blood flow and a good pump into that lat area.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Now, at 240, is it difficult to do pull-ups?
It's very difficult.
And so that's why you do the assisted.
I do the assisted. I try to use as little assistance as possible in order to get 10, 12, 15 reps. And as I go, with the increased blood flow, I have to increase the resistance to help me out.
So are you doing a long stretch, a good stretch at the end?
Long stretch,
okay.
Nice and slow, squeeze. Just to, like I said, to get a good stretch and feel that blood flow get in there. Just so we don't have any injuries leading up into pre-contest. Now is not the time to hurt anything. So.
Right, and then when you go to your pull downs, what's your real goal here with the pull downs?
The pull downs again is, I'm trying to use strict form, but to go as heavy as I possibly can. 10 reps is probably usually my least amount I'll go, but again, get a good squeeze, good stretch, good contraction, and bring a lot of blood flow to that lat area.
Now, are you looking for a pump or a stretch? Are you looking for both? What are you looking for here?
Once I go to the lat pull down, I look more of a pump.
Okay.
There's some days where I go heavy and I'm not feeling the pump, so I'll lighten up the weight and try to get more of a squeeze just to bring that mind muscle connection to that muscle and get a better pump that way.
Now, when you're training, are you seeing yourself on stage? Are you seeing you doing your last spread? Are you actually sensing, feeling every set, every time you go through a motion?
I do. I've never been a guy that has a lot of strength or a lot of power, so I work with what I got, but I do try to go as heavy as possible. But every time I do an exercise, I try to feel that muscle as if I'm doing like a lat spread or reverse lat spread. So I want to make sure, once I go into contest mode, that I don't tear anything. Everything gets lengthened, and just try to increase and shape every part of my lat as possible.
Awesome. So you started with your assisted and you went to your lat pull down. Then what do you go to?
I went to what I call is the John Meadows row. He's pretty well known for this exercise. Got to give him credit.
That's great.
I use the T-bar row here at my gym, and I use it as more of like, you'll see it on the video, as like a dumbbell row.
Okay.
But it's on a fixed platform. I go a little lighter with this motion and using this machine, but again, I just get a really good stretch and a really good squeeze versus like a dumbbell row where I probably lose form a little bit and go a little heavier and don't feel as much of a squeeze or a stretch. It's more of like a just do heavy weight and get it done. But the John Meadows row, I want to call it, gives you a great stretch because you can really reach down to the floor and then pull back. Again, using, moderate weight, but I was getting 12 reps.
And how many sets?
I do 3 to 4. I believe I did 3 today, but today I was just trying to fit in back and biceps, so it was a little bit of a, I cut down a set here and there on the back.
And then what?
And then we went to a Smith machine bent over reverse row. This is an exercise I've been using a lot just to get middle of my back and the lower lat. Training with my coach, we do it free weight. So when I come here to my gym, I use the Smith machine just to get more of a focused stretch again, and really keep my form. What I like to do is really bend over the bar, and with the Smith machine, it just takes a lot of tension off the lower bar. You don't have to, stabilize yourself as much. So really lean over the Smith machine and just pull back and squeeze. Try to get the elbows back as far as possible and feel that contraction.
That's interesting because as a coach myself, I always tell my clients now, I want you to visualize and see me when I'm there. Is that sort of how you do with your coach?
I do, yeah. I mean, there's days, we do an exercise when I'm with him and, he'll adjust things or, hey, let's do it this way. Let's start focusing, tweak this, tweak that. And so when I come, and I'm on my own, I always think of that, and it really does help. Again, I'm really concentrating on form now. I'm trying to, avoid any injuries. So, and, this off season, we've really worked on things that we just want to bring up.
Yeah, that's a very smart philosophy because so many people train so hard, they train so heavy, and they're 2 weeks out from a contest and they have an injury and they either work through the injury and make it worse or they do the show and then they have to recover for 3 to 6 months, sometimes even have to retire.
Yeah, and that's one big thing with myself that I've always, like I said, I've never been a strong guy, so I don't really go the heavyweight.
Stop for a moment on that. So looking at you right now, someone would say, this guy looks like he could lift every weight in the gym. So you're telling me to build this much muscle, you don't have to be as strong, you have to be smart and calculated in how you put your training program together.
Absolutely. I mean, I've always trained smart, tried to. Again, like I said, I've tried the heavy weights and I've just never felt that pump, that contraction. When I was done the next day, other parts of my body hurt other than the body part that I worked. So I tried that for a little while back in my younger years, but being an old guy at 35,
you're actually at a great age because muscle matures as you train.
I will say that I think since my early 30s till now, I've really seen a lot of muscle maturity, a lot of changes as far as like density, and again, I think that comes from training smarter.
Yes. Good supplementation.
Good supplementation. Yes. GSN NitroNOX, all of our GSN products. But yeah, it's just one of those things. You use what you got. I see guys in the gym all the time doing just horrible form.
Yes.
They're going heavy, great, but you look at them and year after year they don't change. So again, I'm just trying to focus, really concentrate on that muscle and just change it,
And so would you say over the training time that you've been in the gym, from the time you began, you've learned how to connect your mind and your muscle? I hear you saying that a lot.
Yeah.
So that seems to be where you're directing your energy.
Absolutely. And that's one big thing with my coach. I mean, when I train with him, once or twice a week right now in the off season, I mean, he's a big proponent of, he doesn't care how much weight you lift. He wants you to do it right. He wants you to feel it. And when you're doing the exercises, he's watching you to make sure he can see what you're supposed to be working. If it's a low lat exercise, he wants to see you contract and hold. I mean, he's a big, even in the off season, he's like, I'd rather you go lighter, bring it back and squeeze it, hold it. Do it nice and tight, because I don't want to see you cheating because, again, that's where the injuries come in.
So it's not just do it right.
No,
Yes.
But we go as heavy as we possibly can. And
with good form.
With good form. And there's days that I feel really strong, and then there's days that, not so strong.
Yes.
So,
and you just follow your senses, how you feel each time you train.
Yeah. I'm not one of those guys that carries a book and, hey, I did this much weight this time, I got to do that much and more. I pretty much walk in the gym and warm up and see how I feel, and we go from there.
But that also comes from your training as a community service. When you consider that you're a paramedic, you have to look at the situation and assess it. Each time is different.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're doing the same thing with your workouts.
Every day is different. I may feel good on Monday doing chest, and we went extremely heavy, and the next day is back, and I might be a little beat up from the day before. So we still get the workout done, and we get it done to the best we can, and do as much weight as we can, again, safely. But it may not have been what I did the week before for back. I may have done 100-pound dumbbell rows the week before, and this week was 80, and it felt like hundreds. So
yes.
But as long as I'm feeling the body part that I'm working and getting that pump, and getting
Yes.
that blood volumization. I think that's what we're really focusing on.
Now, was that all your back exercises that you did today?
Nope. Then we went to, after the Smith machine bent over reverse row, I did a superset with a machine close grip pull down. I do it lighter, but it's a machine that sort of represents like a reverse double bicep.
Yes.
So when I'm doing that machine, that's all I think about is pretty much being on stage, the judge telling you to hit, rear double bicep. So when I pull down, I just pull it, squeeze it, hold it, really concentrate on the lats and stuff. And then I supersetted that with Dickerson's, like a easy curl, straight arm pull down. Again, just mainly at the end of my exercise and my routine to really stretch the lats.
Yes.
And get just lighter weight, but just to get that final blood flow into the lats.
Excellent. So on your total workout today with your back, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel you did today?
I'd say it was about a 9.
About a 9.
9. It's early for me. I usually
Yes.
work out in the evening, but it's Sunday morning. And I've only had like one meal in me, but it felt great. I do like morning workouts here and there and throw them in there.
Yes.
And but I did feel good. Felt really good. I felt like I got a great pump. And then after the back, we just did a little bicep pump. Nothing crazy, just to, because I use a lot of biceps obviously in back.
Yes.
I mean, it's just natural. And so we just did a little bit of bicep pump, 3 exercises, just bring some more blood flow there.
Yes.
And, get a good squeeze.
So for the people that just are starting, what I learned today from you was feeling your muscles, using the mind-body connection.
Yes.
You're visualizing the end result on stage, getting your trophy, and you are using your sense of understanding. Today is a good day, I'm going to work a little bit harder. Today I'm tired, where I'll pull back a little bit. So being smart about your program.
Absolutely.
And then just staying committed all the way through the process, no matter how you feel, but doing what you feel is good for you that day.
Absolutely. I mean, trust me, off season's great because you're eating a lot. You get more cheat meals than you normally do in pre-contest. So, most of the time you feel good, but, just because there's a day where you don't feel 100%, that doesn't mean you should skip the gym. There's days I come in and there's a rough night at the fire department or a rough day at work or with the family, but I still come in and do the most I can and give it everything I got. Even if it was the most I could give is 80%.
Yes.
It's better than not coming here at all.
Yes.
And those are the days I switch things up. I might go just higher rep, 15, 20 reps, and just really concentrate on things.
Excellent. So for a person that's just starting or getting ready for a show, what's your last bit of advice for them?
Train smart, eat good, and just train to your ability. Don't listen to other people on the internet. Don't listen to other guys in the gym about you got to go heavy or you got to do this and you got to do that, because like everything, everybody's different.
Yes.
And everybody's built different. And some people are stronger in this part than other parts. My best friend's stronger in legs than I am, but I'm stronger in chest than he is. So you just do what you can and what works for you. There's no set rhyme or reason that says, hey, you got to do 8 to 10 reps. That's your program. If 8 to 10 doesn't feel right, maybe that 12 to 15 does. So
Yes.
Adjust to what you feel works best for you. And again, just train smart and train to the best of your ability.
Excellent. I'm Victoria Johnson from Victoria's Body Shop, and you heard it today.